these rashes on the skin also.
Yeah.
So it has already started, and now in those moments, mind is consumed. So it has a sense of anxiety, and that anxiety is definitely going to increase these feeling and experiences of the rashes. And the blame has to be given to the glitchy app. And that glitchy app is our mind. You said also one thing that should be made clear. I told you a couple of times that the intellect can understand any concept, human intellect. The average human intellect can understand any process, any cause and effect. So when we understand the cause and effect, that is what is known as the intellectual understanding. But then there is a mind. This mind is influenced, dictated, guided by the past impressions, one, false notions, two, and first it creates a label and then it uses the label as a means to secure and feel better. So there is a big gap between here is an intellect, here is the mind. Mind is influenced by the past impression, the false label that you have created. What is the false label you told me? That I want to feel better at the physical level because I have certain criteria. So mind keeps those impressions. So here is the mind, here is the intellect. Now, in between, there are two things. What are those two things? You have to think like this again and again and again and again. Until what time? Until the mind leaves the past impression, false notion, the delusion it has created. So now come back. Memory and the ego is present in the middle. Just understand in that way. Intellect is here, knowledge can be received by the intellect. No issue. Any human intellect can receive the knowledge. Clear. Second is the mind is here. In between the memory is there and the ego is there. Ego means the I thought is there.
Yes.
Now, now, if the mind takes the support of the memory, I have certain idea about myself, certain idea about the body, that is your memory. Then the I thought. So the mind attracts this memory and the I thought. So what happens? This memory and the ego goes here. Goes here. You still have an understanding in the intellect, but where is the majority?
Yeah.
So who wins? The majority wins. Majority wins. The memory of the false notion and the I thought slips to the mind, and then the mind keeps on thinking, thinking in line with your memory, in line with your rashes. So now what happens? It keeps on thinking, it creates a cycle, and then it overpowers what? Your knowledge and intellect. It overpowers your knowledge and intellect.
Yeah.
Now what is going to happen? The rashes are going to increase. Why? Because the memory pops up again and again into your mind with an I thought, and and completely overpowers my knowledge and understanding. So I'm, as long as my mind is concerned, worried, consumed, it means I'm living in a delusion. So when we live in a delusion, there is no one who can bring an end to your suffering.
Mm.
Do whatever you want to do. Now the intellect is already down. It is deluded completely. So what will happen to the intellect? Intellect will listen to what the mind says. That is what you are saying. That is
Yeah.
what you are talking to me. Did you understand the entire analysis?
Yes.
Huh? So this, memory and the ego lives here. It takes the side of the mind. Why? The mind believes what is my false notion is true. So the I thought says, oh, if it is true, so let me take your side. So let me take your side. So obviously you are in a delusion.
Yeah.
And delusion causes the anxiety. Now question comes, what is to be done? That is what is to be done. The moment your intellect says you have consulted the doctors, you know the cause and effect, and you know the solution, finished.
I don't though.
Huh?
I don't know the cause and I don't know the solution. That's the problem.
Oh, you did not go to the doctor, or what the doctor said?
So they say it's eczema, but it's so vague because eczema can be a chemical, environmental, food. They don't have an answer.
They don't have an answer. So first knowledge is that they don't have an answer.
Okay.
That is, we have an understanding, they don't have an answer. So it means, let me regulate my lifestyle, pay attention to the food that should not be allergic, I should not eat, and I should prevent it.
Okay.
Common sense knowledge, common sense. Common sense. I should not use any soap which is allergic, or any shampoo which is allergic, or any environment that is allergic, because ultimately it is the allergens. Some kind of allergy causes the eczema.
Yeah.
That is very clear to us. So let us, we changed our lifestyle by understanding. Clear. So now remember, the moment the disease comes or sickness comes, it cannot be corrected in one day. I have to wait. So what is that waiting period? The patience. From where the endurance and the patience comes from the intellect. Now I'm clear? Now I'm clear. Now the moment the mind brings in the memory with the I thought that, what should I do? I should use the intellect and reverse that thought process. I am doing my best and it will be taken care of. It will be taken care of. I am doing my best, it will be taken care of. The moment any thought comes from the mind and the memory, we have to get rid of it. If you are repeating constantly those thoughts, it will overpower the intellect and you fall into delusion, then there is no solution. So you are going to a point of no solution. So when you are going to a point of no solution, there is a frustration, there is a delusion. So I have to consistently, there is a rashes. The rashes should not invoke the memory of your mind and idea of a false notion. Rather than the moment you have the rashes, it should invoke the knowledge and understanding from the mind. I'm doing my best. Any sickness will take time. Let me practice the meditation and transcend the body and see what happens. So you are offering a solution to the mind, but not getting carried away by the past thoughts and impressions and fears and your ideation about your body. And then you can go to the extreme. After all, I am not the body. Why I am worrying about it? I am not the body. Did the body not change since birth? Body is changing. So I was present when the body was 5 years old. I was present when the body was 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old. I am present when the body is sick. I am present when the body is healthy. But that I is not at all affected and dictated. I'm still there. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Let us go to a little deeper and very easy to understand. So if you keep these thoughts, what I'm talking about, you are getting rid of the thought which is associated with an emotion. Thought associated with an emotion, and what is the thought? My body. Come on, you are not the body. So now pick up this. Mind is not distorted, deluded by the world outside. Let me make another statement and just become aware. Our no problem, no suffering is situational. What it means? No problem is situational. What it means? Their situation always takes place outside. Situation takes place outside. So your dad is sitting there and the mind brings in some crazy thoughts against your dad, and you say, Dad, don't talk to me. This is too much. I don't want to talk to you. So you think that because of the presence of a dad, you become angry. This is wrong. That situation, that presence of a dad is situational. No situation outside causes any problem to the mind. So what causes the problem? It is the mind takes the help of a false notion with reference to a situation causes the problem. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Let me make it very clear and naked truth. You want to present not yourself, but you want to present your body with the label that you have created about yourself to the world outside. And that is creating a problem. Otherwise, no situation is creating a problem. You don't have a beard. I have a long beard. Nobody watches. Nobody cares. Why nobody cares? Because they are more concerned about themselves. Because their mind is also functioning situationally with a lot of false notion. The way my mind is working, no one takes care except your friends and some other people, because their mind is also visiting and wandering, so they can pass the remark, look at this crazy beard guy, look at the smart guy. That is all. They are not concerned about it.
Yeah.
Same way, I'm telling you, no situation outside. Situation includes person, no time, no relationship are responsible for my stress and suffering. It is my false notion that perceive the situation in a way that has an element of delusion causes the problem. Oh, that guy is staring at me. Maybe because I have a new shirt. I have created a false notion. Just think. Think. Oh, I have a long beard, he might have not seen. I went to a shop and see, you have a wonderful beard. Yeah. Okay, I said. Okay. I said, should I give the beard to you? I can shave off and give to you. So before my mind should identify with the beard, creating a false notion, I deleted it completely. Again, I am saying, there is no situation, no person, no relationship, no remark to you is causing the problem. Situation outside. Our suffering is not situational. You have to understand it clearly. So it is not the rashes. It is your idea about yourself, your false notion about yourself with reference to the body is causing the problem. You remove the false notion and then see what happens.
Yeah.
So when you remove these false notion, it is gone. Let us take little easy.
So it's the idea about the rash.
Yeah. It is idea about the rash to the body associated with a false notion about your body is causing the problem. Otherwise, there is no situation.
Yeah.
Let us understand if the situational, if my suffering is situational, so how the mind takes it impulsively for a non-seeker. The non-seeker takes the situation as the cause of happiness and unhappiness. For example, you are in 10th grade and you get the honors roll. You return home, Dad. I go, oh, wonderful. So impulsive mind associated that achievement with the ego, and then that is why you go to the home and you tell your dad, oh, wonderful, well, keep on doing this. Now question is, how long that pleasure of honors roll lives in your mind? Maybe a couple of hours. The next moment you are sitting on a dining table. Mom, this is wonderful chicken you made it. Now I find another situation of eating the food causes the pleasure. The first pleasure is gone. Second pleasure. Third pleasure, you sold the house, you got a huge benefit out of that house. Did it happen to you? You sold a couple of houses, so every house you sold, you had a sense of pleasure. Is it not?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you carry that sense of pleasure even today?
No.
It is not situational. But my mind makes it situational. That is the problem.
So then that's not really pleasure.
It's not pleasure because of the false notion, I created an imaginary pleasure, and that is causing the problem. You have to listen to today's talk and you have to extract those thoughts. You have to repeat. The moment the mind says you still have rashes, rashes are increasing. You have to get rid of it. That means the knowledge is now being applied to the mind. How many times you have to do it? As many times as the mind creates the false notion and brings the problem on the surface. You have to say it is not situational. It is self-created. It is self-inflicting harm. Tell me any situation that happened in the last 10 years which is still offering you the sense of pleasure or the sense of pain. I will remind you. Otherwise, I will remind you if you remember. Let us remind your pain.
Okay, remind me of my pain.
You had such a tremendous emotional pain. Your body was manifesting a tremendous anxiety and fidgeting when that girl.
The girl. Well, I'm not in pain because of it now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No worries. Rashes are today. It will be gone tomorrow. No worries. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Eastern wisdom goes by cause and effect, goes to the root cause. It understands the nature of the mind, why the mind in delusion is causing the suffering. We understand it, and then we maintain that awareness. Should I believe you that you said that emotional pain with that girl has gone from your life? Are you sure? So if it is gone, now compare the two. You have more pain, more emotional pain with that girl as compared to the rashes you have. Compare the two. Which one is more painful?
The one I'm currently in.
So it means I will create false notion in the mind, then I will live it, I bypass the knowledge, and then I will continue to live in the pain, from one pain to the second pain to the third pain to the fourth pain. That is what we have been living. That is the meaning. The word is suffering.
Yeah. That is the definition of ignorance. You just go from one thing to the next to the next.
And you're repeating the same thing again and again, thinking that because the situation outside is different. It is not because of the situation.
See, that's the thing. We think it's different. This time it's different. This time it's different.
Situational. There is no suffering. The suffering is not situational. The stress is not situational. Anxiety is not situational. Situational means it is coming from outside. It is coming at a particular time with a particular people in relationship. Just don't tell me, but remember the first house you sold and the benefit and the pleasure you experienced. Second house you sold and the pleasure you experienced.
Not the same.
Not the same. But I moved from one pleasure to the other, thinking, believing because of delusion that this selling the house gives me the pleasure.
You're always chasing that high. You're always chasing that first time. It's like the first time you have sex.
You're right. You're
And
right.
that's what we do. That's what I do. Or that's what people do. And then that's how you become an addict. And then you think, okay, well, then this time it'll be just as good. And then the next time, and that's like people that have like gambling addictions. Like
Yes.
they always think the next time they're gonna win.
That's good. It's a very fine analysis. Find out, analyzing your life during the last 2 years, how many pleasures you were chasing and you are still chasing. Can you stop and think? That makes you a seeker. That makes you a great seeker when you stop thinking how many times I am constantly repeating to receive the situational pleasure to avoid pain, and I did not succeed. If I did not succeed, it means there is a problem in my mind. It has nothing to do with the situation outside. We have to do it again and again and again and again and again. Yes, go little deeper. Go little deeper. Why I am seeking, why I am acting, why I am thinking, speaking, and working every day when I wake up, looking for pleasure. Also, I want to work to avoid the pain. Why? 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 Ask yourself and answer me.
Well, I think you do. I mean, at the end of the day, I think all human beings are just trying to be happy.
Talk
And
about
so,
yourself.
okay. So it's okay. No, you're right. Forget everybody else. It's to be happy. Everything is to be happy.
Go a little deeper. So you want to say, I'm just expanding that statement so that you can find the ultimate cause. So you mean to say that I am thinking, speaking, and working every day in search of happiness in a situation, in a person, in a relationship. That is what you are saying. Tomorrow, I have a date with that girl. Or next day, I have a good appointment that I'm going to sell my house. There is a client. You see, I'm constantly working, thinking, feeling as if situation outside will bring at least this time permanent happiness, and that this time never comes.
Yes.
Right? But why?
Why are we searching for that? Because we're unhappy. Because I don't think I am happy, and I'm not in peace.
Wonderful. That is another area. You rightly hit the point, because I feel I am unhappy and I want to be happy. So in order to be happy, I think I should work, I should act, I should think, I should speak. But what is the result? The result is mind keeps on wandering from one object to the other. and it starts working on one project to meet a girl and date, to eat some food, to buy some clothes, to have a new car, to have one house, and every time I get it, I'm little bit excited. There may be a sense of pleasure, but that pleasure escapes my life and I keep on searching. But question is, yes, you hit upon the point why I am searching. Because I am unhappy. Now the next question comes, why am I unhappy?
Well,
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
because I'm
because I'm
living in
living in
ignorance and
ignorance and
delusion,
delusion,
and I
and I
actually
actually
don't
don't
even
even
really
really
know what
know what
happiness
happiness
is.
is.
How
Uh,
can you? How can you? Happiness? Okay,
Okay,
first of
first
all,
of all,
happiness
happiness
is an
is
there
an
is
emotion.
a
emotion.
there is a rattlesnake in the mountain in Arizona where you are tracking. Can you say that you are suffering from ignorance? What action you take?
If I
If I
see a
see a
rattlesnake,
rattlesnake,
Yeah.
I
I
run the
run the
other
other
way.
way.
Why don't you run the other way when you know that you are having an ignorance? Ignorance is more dangerous, more poisonous than the rattlesnake.
I
I
mean, I
mean, I
told you
told you
this the
this the
other
other
night.
night.
Like,
Like,
there's a
there's a
part of
part of
me.
me.
I
I
think
think
there's a
there's a
part of
part of
me,
me,
like
like
with
with
all of
all of
this,
this,
that
that
like I
like I
feel like
feel like
sometimes I
sometimes I
get
get
close,
close,
but
but
I'm
I'm
afraid to
afraid to
let
let
go.
go.
I'm
I'm
afraid
afraid
to.
to.
I'm
I'm
afraid
afraid
of
of.
like
Like
sometimes
sometimes
I'm
I'm
afraid of
afraid of
this,
this.
like to
Like to
let
let
go of
go of
this
this
life
life
that I
that I
know,
know,
because at
because at
least I
least I
know the
know the
suffering.
suffering.
You
You
know,
know,
at
at
least
least
I
I
know the
know the
attachments, I
attachments, I
know the
know the
suffering,
suffering,
and
and
so
so
there's
there's
like a
like a
comfortability in
comfortability
at
in at
least
least
knowing,
knowing,
and
and
like
like
with
with
the
the
journey of
journey
a
of a
seeker
seeker
and
and
enlightenment,
enlightenment,
sometimes it's
sometimes it's
really
really
scary
scary
because
because
you
you
don't
don't
know,
know,
and
and
it's
it's
like the
like the
devil you
devil you
know
know
is
is
better than
better
the
than the
devil you
devil you
don't
don't
know.
know.
That
That
old
old
saying.
saying.
So
So
there's a it's
it's
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
so
so
weird.
weird.
It's
It's
like
like
I
I
choose to
choose to
stay.
stay. I'm choosing.
I
I
am
am
choosing to
choosing to
stay in the
stay in the
suffering.
suffering.
I
I
I
I
I
I
I
I
mean,
mean,
you
you
always
always
used to
used to
say,
say, you know, you're not
you're
worthy. You're
not
not
worthy of
worthy of
suffering. And
suffering.
it's
And it's
like
like
I'm
I'm
choosing
choosing
it.
it.
I'm
I'm
literally
literally
choosing it.
choosing it.
So it means you are choosing to be bitten by the rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? And you answer that why? Because you want to escape from the reality. You are escaping from the reality, even looking at the rattlesnake while tracking, and you are asking the rattlesnake, please come and bite me. That is what you mean by ignorance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even my mind lost the reflex action and I allow the rattlesnake to be bitten by me. So the master says there are four types of seekers. Do you still remember
I
four
know that
types?
I
I
don't
don't
know the
know the
four
four
types,
types,
but I
but I
know
know
that
that
there
there
are
are
four
four
types.
types.
The first is that I am suffering from pain. I am suffering from pain, and then I pray to God. I seek the blessing. I seek cancellation from the God, so called the God or the existence. The first type of the seeker lives in ignorance, finds there is a sense of helplessness, and in that state of helplessness, it is seeking a solution from either you can say that seeking a solution. Do I ever have that feeling that I sit down and I said, this is, I understand all the ignorance and I am seeking a solution from the existence. Don't say God, no need to believe in God, just seeking a solution. When I am seeking a solution, my whole energy of the mind is directed from the false notion to the existence, and ultimately I can get rid of it. But that also I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second kind of a seeker, that who are rich, doing everything very well enough in their life, material life, and they want to inquire if there is supreme consciousness, or there is a God, or huh? there is God, or there is a real self, or there is a consciousness at all. So the first two types of seekers these two types continue to have more doubt on the authenticity of the journey of the self discovery. They believe more in their pain and suffering.
But they're
But they're
still a
still a
seeker.
seeker.
They are still a seeker, all the four, because there are, one way you can say there are four types of seekers, or you can say there are four stages of the seekers. So four stages, if you use the word four stages, sometime we have a pain, no problem, we have a suffering. And if we sit down, first go into the meditation, and let me complete the meditation, I experience the peace and calm, and let me use my intellect to invoke that existence to take care of me and find the solution. But I don't know. It happens, you don't know. You make a project. You told me that your house, you have put the cost of $16 million. Who knows, it may be sold for $20 million, or it may not be. So you make a project. So a seeker moves to the second level. He says, I have relied on my mind. Now let me say goodbye to the mind and rely on the existence which is already present in me, and invoke His grace and the blessing. So you start moving to the second stage. You start moving to the second stage. And the moment you move to the second stage, any type of pain, whether it's a physical or mental or emotional, will dissolve. First time, if we do it continuously, for example, you are aware of the Krishna, you can say, okay, Krishna, or you are aware of the Jesus. Jesus, I give you what I am. Pay attention. What I am, what I have, what I possess, all belongs to you. Are you clear? What I am belongs to you. What I have belongs to you. What I have, all the house and amenities and the bank accounts and relations, plus my suffering also belongs to you. What I possess. If I live into that state of silence and I invoke the grace and the blessing, you take care of me, I'm not going to think about it. Enough is enough. So the first type of the seeker transitions to the second type of the seeker. The mind for some time becomes totally blank, free from the past impressions that I explained to you in the beginning, and you reveal the knowledge. That intellect starts exerting the pressure on the mind, and your problem is going to be solved. It happens to many people. That is what religious preachers teach about it. So it is true. But here, our journey of the Eastern wisdom is that I have to transition from the lowest level of a seeker to the second stage, and the third type of the seeker is known as committed. Known as committed seeker. Now, what is committed seeker? Here the answer comes. Here the answer of what? Answer of why I am unhappy. That is why I am searching happiness outside. You just told me I am bringing this now. Why am I unhappy? So you said ignorance and delusion. I want to live in a comfort zone. But you have already understood living from one comfort zone to the second to the third is not a solution at all.
Yeah.
So the cause of this unhappiness is feeling a sense of incompleteness in me. I don't feel that I'm complete. So in order to feel complete, I create a project in my life. I'm going to date this guy or a girl. I'm going to do this project. I will have $10 million and I will buy this car. All movements gives you a momentary pleasure. So the third type of the seeker reflects and alert. It says to the mind, hold on. Do I feel a sense of incompleteness? By dating this girl, can I feel the sense of completeness? No. If I get more money, will I feel the sense of completeness? No. You negate everything, you allow the mind to settle in yourself, you drop the false notion, and the problem is gone. That is the higher level of a seeker.
Yeah.
So higher seeker always works with reference to existence, or you can say with reference to the real self, or you can say with reference to the supreme consciousness. But if you feel that you are an emotional person, use any image as a tool. Maybe an image of Jesus or a Krishna, or I use the image of my master all the time. So what happens when you use the image of the Jesus? What I am, what I have, what I possess, let me offer everything to you. The moment the mind brings in the thought of irration, that also belongs to you. Because now I don't rely on the crazy mind that continues the problem. That is another approach that is known as the approach of emotional integration. I have to do it mentally and emotionally. If I don't do it, it will not work. Then you will simply continue to say that, I have understood everything. No, you have not understood unless you realize it. Unless you realize there is a rattlesnake, I have to protect myself.
Yes.
That is not an understanding. So what label you have given to yourself? I wanted to give you the practice, but anyhow, you raised this topic. Now ask yourself, what label I have given to myself? The label I have given to myself, that I have a sense of incompleteness, and I have lot of fear and anxiety and the frustration that is constantly accumulating in my mind with reference to the incompleteness. First thing. Now the second stage, I have to do something. So what I have to do, I have to keep my body so looking so smart, so handsome, that all the girls should be attracted to me wherever I go. You're not a god. So that sense of fear, frustration, along with seeking something from outside, is always present. Bypassing. You see what we bypass? Body continues to change. Can I arrest the growth of my gray beard? Can I arrest the power that I had at the age of 25, now at the age of 66? Answer is no. Do I have any control over it? Answer is big no. Can I repair and maintain this body? I have a control. Answer is yes. Repair and maintenance, so that I can continue to keep the body understanding its limitation. So the changing nature of the body I cannot change. I cannot arrest. I cannot control. Do whatever you want to do. What should I do? What is the problem? So that sense of incompleteness, idea, thought, feeling, emotion, is superimposed on the physical body. Second point, superimposition. Then the mind says, now my body will remain static. Status quo is maintained. It cannot be.
No.
It is controlled, regulated by the nature. So I am fighting with the nature. Keep on fighting with the nature. There is no solution. Go to the science. Science says tomorrow there will be a hurricane. The wind should be at the speed of 150 miles an hour. And we are issuing the warning to this locality and county to empty their houses. Do they fight with the nature?
No.
So science also tells me don't fight with the nature. I'm trying to fight with the nature. And then I say, no, I don't believe in this. I understand all this. Am I not crazy? Look at this, science, which understands the cause and effect. It predicts. Recently, we had more than 50 casualties in that tornado, because we feel, no, we are safe. They died. So that is the same thing I want to do with reference to the rashes or with reference to any problem that we have in the world. Think. So I have to constantly and consistently finding the cause and effect. Think, I'm unhappy, but by acting, by working on myself, I will be happy. I have reached to a point with reference to the rashes. Doctor didn't say anything. Doctor don't know any causes. But whatever little we know that there are some issues with allergies. So can I prevent all kinds of allergies, give a conducive environment to the body and a calming effect to the mind, rather than repeating the same thing with a false notion? But I want to remain insane. I don't want to be sane. Why I want to be remain as an insane? I told you. Memory and intellect, false notion. Mind attracts. How mind attracts? By thought, by feeling again and again. I create a thought, I feel it. Create a thought, feel it. What should I do? I don't know. One master says this is intellectual paralysis. I have paralyzed the intellect. Who? Situation outside? Body has paralyzed my intellect? No. I. Why you are paralyzing the intellect?
Yeah.
Think your shape and the size of the body changes 5%. Will no client to buy your house because they see you have changed your body? You feel it that no, I don't want to change. I want to maintain the status quo of the body. Buyer will not come to you. Buyer will not come to you.
No, they will.
Think, think. So you see that, the root cause, that is one way to understand a feeling, a sense of incompleteness. Then mind triggers how I should feel completeness. Then it creates a false notion. After the false notion, it gets attached to doing something. That attachment creates a desire, and desire demands resources and action. So I keep on working, acting in my life to be happy in one situation by changing the situation, creating a situation, buying a house, selling the house, getting more money, etc., etc. Long list. And I'm doing the same thing. I have been doing the same thing for the last 36. So maybe for this last 16 years.
Yeah.
People are doing it for 50 years. You are lucky you are listening this. You are at least aware that this is craziness. People are doing for 80 and 90 years.
Yeah.
So this, because of long repetition in my mind of the same repetitive thoughts, it makes me feel, look at it, now I'm frustrated. Everyone is enjoying life. No one's enjoying life. No one is enjoying the life. Even they have a big smile on their face. It is a fake smile. Now see, I perform an action, and by performing, no action is complete action. That's another topic. It will take a lot of time. So no action is complete action. Because the action is incomplete, it creates another pattern of thoughts in the mind. What are those patterns? Either likes or dislikes. That likes and dislikes again pushes me, forces me to work what I like for what I dislike, and the journey continues that I never feel as if I have rested even one day in my life, because the mind continues to wander, thinking the situation outside will make me happy.
Yeah.
no situation can make me happy. That is what a seeker writes on the screen of the mind, which is constantly present in the mind. No situation outside can ever make me feel complete. You stick onto that thought, then you see your mind with those false notions starts dropping. And when it starts dropping, you will not only find the calmness, not only of the rashes, but also your mental state will change. You become the third level of a seeker.
Mhm.
You know, the master in a disciple tradition was a very deep, contemplative, reflective process. At least thousands of masters, by their experiences, realized that without master in a seeker tradition, their intimate relationship, so don't take intimate has to do with the physical, it has to do with the spiritual relationship. In the Upanishads, the higher and the greatest in the cream text, I tell you one story to understand it. When this knowledge is easily available by paying some amount of money, the mind with the ego thinks, oh, it is available to me. I paid this money and this teacher will give me the knowledge. That very value it has to be given by the mind of a seeker is absent. Having
Yeah.
said this, having said this, Upanishad teaching, one teaching from one Upanishad, I will name it later. A person goes to the master and he says that I want to know real self and I want to realize it. But why? Now the student says that I have seen that I have been repeating, moving from one pleasure to the second pleasure, and still I feel that I'm unhappy. What should I do? You please guide me. Now begins the master and a student relationship. So normally in those days the master has a big monastery and he says, yes, are you ready? So the student says, you tell me today, or you tell me after a year, or you don't tell me. I completely offer myself to you. In Buddhist tradition, it is known as what? I take refuge in you.
Mhm.
Are you sure? Master still asks with a doubt. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm not going anywhere. You asked me to fast. Buddha was asked to fast. Drop 2 meals, take only 1 meal a day. The master asked him, are you ready to sleep on the floor? Yes. He said yes to all the rules, all the orders of the master. That was the tradition of the master in a seeker tradition, because the seeker felt this knowledge cannot be received so easily.
Mhm.
Now the Upanishad master says, here is a monastery, we have couple of cows here, so take care of the cows, take care of the kitchen. And the master did not talk to that student for 1 full year. Why? Because master was constantly watching, observing whether he dropped his ego, which is attached to the mind. After 1 year, he gave only one instruction. And that seeker lived with the master for 20 years without any complaint. No complaint. Oh, for 1 year I've been taking care of the cause. My ego says, now at least, now you should teach me. That seeker did not complain. From where the complaint comes? From the same mind with the ego.
Yeah.
That I'm ready, but I'm not ready. You already spoke about it. That I understand each and everything, and still I want to continue to live in the comfort zone. I want to continue with identification with the body. And then tell me, is it possible to realize? No. Unless you de-identify yourself with the body. Why de-identification? Because if you keep on identification, the sense of completeness will continue. But why the sense of completeness will continue with the... Because the body itself keeps on changing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that we should not take care of the body, maintain the body, repair it, maintain it, keep the physical well-being. It is required, but identification is not required.
Yeah.
I want to take your 2 minutes more. Where is this identification and attachment? I will go into that also. How many things, objects, and articles are present in the entire world? Can you tell me? How many? Number?
No.
Maybe trillions. 8 billion is the human population. Then you have another 10, 20, or 40 billion of other living species. Then hundreds of objects are there. So, no counting. And number. I want to talk about the attachment. So I'm just giving a reference point. It's another way to understand that. Now, out of so many objects, people, things in the world outside, I choose only one and give importance to it. That is attachment. Previously, you gave importance to that so-called beautiful girl. Girls are always beautiful, so you gave the beautiful girl, you got attracted, and your mind was obsessed. At least, she should send the message on the dead phone. It is not a living phone. And you were frustrated. That object. Yeah? I give importance to that girl, exclusive of everything.
Yeah.
Now you are giving importance to these rashes and the body, exclusive of everything.
Yeah.
That is attachment. Your mind says, I cannot live without it. If the rashes will go away, I will be happy. Really? Promise you will be happy forever. Let us have today the last session. I will make you happy. I will remove the rashes. But conditional. You should be happy forever.
Interesting. Thank you.